Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we are continuing working with triangles, and we are dealing with acute triangles. So we have two goals. Goal number one, split an acute triangle into two right triangles. And goal two, calculate the area of a triangle. And the area formula for the triangle is still going to be the same. So for the most part, this should be pretty simple. But goal one will be a little bit tougher, and you might feel like it's a little tedious. So, I'm going to start with the area formula. Area, let's get a keyboard, equals base times height, and then divided by 2, because it is half of a rectangle. So, when we're looking at an acute triangle, that means that all of the angles are less than 90 degrees, so it's not an obtuse. We notice that the height goes through the middle of the triangle, whereas before the right triangles all had it where the height was the side with the 90 degrees, but these are acute, so the height goes through the middle. So there are two strategies that we can use to find the area, and we're going to make you do the complicated version a couple of times. So the first method is we can look, and not there, and if we took our imaginary line that showed us the height, we could split our acute triangle into two right triangles. So we would have I'm sure you can see it, but just in case, we would have a triangle here. So that would be one right triangle. And we would have a triangle here. This would be our second right triangle. And what we can do is we can find the area of both of those triangles and then add them up. So to do that, we're going to identify the base and the height. So the base is 2 and the height is 5 for this first triangle. So to find the area, we're doing base times height and then dividing by 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. Of course, divided by 2 is back to 5 inches squared. And for the triangle on the right, we can do base is 7. The height again is 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Divided by 2 is 17.5 inches squared. So in order to find the area, we could add those up. 5 plus 17.5, we can say that the area equals 22.5 inches squared. So fairly simple. The other method, which is going to be much easier, which is why I'm only going to make you do the tough version a couple times, is we can just focus on the fact that we know the height is 5 inches, and the base is going to be the sum of 2 inches and 7 inches. So we can add up the two bases to equal the one long base, and we can do 9 times 5 divided by 2, which of course 9 times 5 is 45, divided by 2 is 22.5 inches squared. So same answer. First one, we split it into two right triangles, found each area and added them up. The other one, we figured out what the sum of the bases were, and we did base times height divided by 2. So even when it's not a right triangle, we can still use the area formula. All right, so this triangle here, it's also an acute triangle. We can split it again into two different triangles. So we have our height here of 4.8 centimeters, and then we could split this here And so for both triangles, especially if you were able to rotate it, the height is 4.8 centimeters on both of them. So in order to find the area of the yellow triangle, we're going to do 5.9 times 4.8 and then divide by 2. So with my calculator, I'm doing 5.9 times 4.8, which is 28.32, divide by 2, and we have 14.16 centimeters squared. And then for my bottom triangle, I'm going to use the base here times the height. So that is 3.1 times 4.8, and then divided by 2. And that gives me 7.44 centimeters squared. And if I add those together, then I get a total of 21.6 centimeters squared. So that is if we add the two triangles together. And if we wanted to just find the whole area all at once, we would need to recognize that we need to add this base plus this base. So 5.9 plus 3.1 equals 9. The height is 4.8. So 9 times 4.8, and then divided by 2 gives us 21.6. All right, so this is your turn to try it. You do need to use two methods on your first couple of questions on the assignment, so that's what we're going to have you do for the example. So you need to find the area of each of the triangles separately. After you find that, then you can show the formula if you just combine the bases. So go ahead and pause the video and try it. All right, so you should have had your imaginary height line here, separating it into two triangles. And for the first one, you would do base, which is 12.6, times 8.7 divided by 2, which if you use a calculator, 12.6 times 8.7 and then divided by 2, that gets you 54.81. And then for the second triangle, 4.5 times 8.7 divided by 2, that gets you 19.575. So that's the area of those two triangles. If we add them together, we get 74.385 inches squared. So area of the left triangle plus the area of the right triangle. Okay, method number 2, we need to add these two up to find the base. So 12.6 plus 4.5 equals 17.1. Multiply that by the height, which is 8.7, and divide by 2, and we get the same answer of 74.385 inches squared. All right, so I apologize because this video or this lesson itself isn't that great as a YouTube video, but hopefully you got the gist. First method is to split the triangle into two right triangles, find both areas and add them together. And the second method, which is the easier way, is just to find the total base, multiply it by the height, and divide by 2. Good luck on your assignment.